Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to The Hidden Agenda. I'm Thanasi.
I am Tony.
And we have another... Which adjectives will we use so far? Cracking, excellent, awesome.
Awesome.
I don't think we've actually said awesome yet.
No.
Probably because it's really lame.
Yeah, awesome is like what you say when you haven't really got a decent adjective.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good.
It's going to be okay.
We got another good show for you.
Yeah. Or we could just ditch the adjectives altogether.
We have another show for you.
You know what's interesting is that I can never remember which of these like silly little bits we've done in the intro and the outro until after we've gotten about halfway through the bit again.
We haven't done this though, have we?
No, I don't know. We definitely haven't done this one. But I think a couple of weeks ago we did the same bit on the outro, and then halfway through the bit we just kind of went, oh wait, we've done this one before.
Is another an adjective? Another show? It's describing the show.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't do grammar questions now.
Alright, no grammar questions.
So, should we get right into it?
Yes, let's do it. I nearly just said cracking for no reason.
Cracking into it with item number one.
Item number one on the agenda. I have I've come up with an idea for a YouTube show.
Oh, this will be good.
And it is potentially going to make millions.
Okay.
I'm guessing you're familiar with Will It Blend?
Yes.
Will It Blend?
Good show. Will it blend? That is the question. Do. Yeah, one of my favourite series.
So, if you don't know, listeners, Will It Blend? It's an old man.
Yeah.
And he basically puts things in a blender and sees whether or not they get blended.
That's right.
Has there, so you're obviously more familiar with the show.
I've probably watched every episode.
Has anything not blended?
No. No.
So it all blends.
Every single one blended. Even the neodymium magnets, apparently.
Right. See, so I think because he's ultimately just trying to advertise the blender,
That's
isn't
right,
it?
yeah.
So they're not going to put in anything that doesn't blend.
I'm sure they blend something, and if it didn't blend, they don't upload that episode.
Has he tried to... Has he put, like, a part of the blender into...
No. No, that could be an interesting... Will it blend a blend tech?
Yeah, can it self-blend?
Can it self-blend?
So, but no, that's not my idea. My idea is similar, but I guess more honest in that the outcome could come either way. And I know that when most people have these $1 million ideas, they, usually what people do is they work on them.
I love the confidence, by the way. It's $1 million idea.
It's $1 million idea.
Okay,
but normally, you get the idea, you work on the idea, then you reveal the finished product, and you make the millions.
Okay.
I'm a bit of a maverick right now in that I'm just giving away the idea.
Giving the idea away, okay.
So, listeners, don't you take my $1 million idea.
This is Tony's idea.
This is my idea.
Yep.
I might get around to it one day if I can be bothered, but I'm a lazy man. I only have phone cameras to work with.
Yeah, I've been dealing with. I've been thinking of a web series myself for probably a year now. It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is so similar to Will It Blend. My idea, you need an old man.
Okay.
And it's kind of hard. I don't really have access to an old man right now.
Yeah. How old?
Oh,
Dad old or granddad old?
I think between the two.
Between the two. Okay.
So here's my idea. The show is called Will It Work? Right.
Yep.
And what you do is you get an old man and you sit him down at a table.
Yeah.
And then you just give him bits of technology that he has to connect together. And at the end of the episode, he just tries...
You just have to see if the whole thing works.
Yeah. So you go, all right, old man, here's a laptop, a projector, and a Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah.
Can you play us this DVD? And you watch him... You watch this old man connecting things together... And at the end of the episode, he loads up VLC media player, smacks the space bar.
See if we get any picture
See if we get any
audio. Hopefully both.
Yeah. Well, if he gets both, he's done well.
He's won. Yeah.
But that's it. That's all it is. Will it work?
Yeah.
And then you just, here, old man, here's a router, a wireless
network
printer.
Switch. A wireless print, and we just keep escalating.
Yeah, now can you print off this document? And he'll go, yes. And then, give him however long he needs, or maybe you cap it at an hour or
like
something.
An hour,
and edit out the best. And you just watch this old man trying
to get it to work.
Trying to get things to work. Will it work?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah?
I really like it.
Well, that's all...
The same old man every time, or do we get different old men?
That's a good question. Well, I think if it was the same old man, maybe you could build a rapport with it. Like, it's his journey in a way.
Yeah.
You're watching this old man trying to
Learn
things.
about all this new stuff.
Yeah. So here's old man, you have to get this TV to play through HDMI 1. And then, like, how do I get HDMI 1?
You give him a Chromecast, a TV, and a phone, and ask him to play something on Netflix.
Exactly, yeah. And
a phone that doesn't have Netflix already on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then that's all there. So, but I mean, why can't that make millions?
I reckon it could, but I think it would depend a lot on how charismatic said old man is.
Right, so you think we'd have to...
Or how grumpy. I think one or the other would work.
Watching him
if
get
after
really
10
angry.
minutes he's sitting there going like, buddy, just wigging out trying to get all this stuff to work, that would be funny. There's an element of schadenfreude there, right?
Yes.
Sort of taking pleasure in someone else's misfortune.
Yes, you're right.
And I guess it is quite unfortunate this old man is basically being made a fool of on the internet for our millions, or your millions, as it were, anyway.
Well, I guess, I own the show, so I would be making... he would get paid handsomely.
Of course.
Being the star of the show.
Can I be executive producer?
I guess, why not?
I've got the camera.
Yeah.
And some of the gear.
Yeah, but that's... I don't. Yeah, that's just.
How can we extend it? Does it have to be technology, or can we just start getting him to build like complex mechanical devices? Like, can we just drop a Meccano set on the table and go make a fire truck?
Well, so it has to be something that has either a works or does not work state.
Yeah, true.
So I guess it doesn't have to be technology. That lends itself to technology quite nicely.
I suppose and I suppose okay, being pedantic, kind of everything in a sense is kind of technology, though. Right? Yeah. You're kind of talking about electronics, computers, things like that, but really, a washing board was new technology at some point.
Yeah.
Right? But I suppose there's no reason you couldn't take a clock, and pull it apart and have them put it back together. And if it counts time at the end...
Yeah, I'll accept that as an idea.
Okay.
Yeah. So, will it work? Can you put this clock together?
I like it a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Wow, that's great. So I have one viewer on board. Now I just need to get to
need to get sort of several million more.
And an old man. Listeners, if you know an old man who would be right for this show...
Get him to email us.
Yeah. Oh, there's an idea.
That's the first...
Will it work? FaceTime.
Yeah.
So you just give the old man a phone. He just has to FaceTime his daughter or something.
Yeah.
And then... you're just sitting there, just waiting for the daughter. You got the daughter in a room, and she's just waiting... And if the call comes through and he's there, correct, it's worked. If not, I'm sorry.
The first challenge should be will it work to get in contact with us?
Will it work? Can he send the email?
Can he send the email, exactly.
Yeah.
So if you know an old man that would like to be a superstar... Get him to email us at thehiddenagendapodcast@gmail.com.
Will the entire body of the email be in the subject line, for example?
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
If we can figure out what he wants.
Yeah.
If an email gets to us and some text somewhere in the email says, I'd like to be the old man on your show. Right?
So what email should they message into if they want to be on the show?
Oh, I did just say it, but I'll say it again.
Okay, say it again.
It's thehiddenagendapodcast@gmail.com.
Awesome. Old men, email us.
Email us.
And you could be on my new show.
Well, no, we can't tell the old men to email us because they probably haven't worked out how to watch this stream.
Well, nudge your old man.
Nudge your old man, yeah, exactly.
Tell him there's a great opportunity to be on the next big YouTube
We're going to make him a star.
It's going to be massive.
Yep.
Will
Guaranteed.
It work?
Will it work?
Technology together. What else could it be, though? Could it extend to... Christmas lights, you could do something like that. Will it work?
Well, hang on. Christmas lights, you just plug it in and it works.
Well, yeah, but if you want to get more technical, if you want, the Santa to do something and then...
Oh, as in, so not only have him put together... random bits of disparate technology, but also have him build devices kind of thing.
Could do.
We could be here's a bunch of servo motors and some crafting foam and some lights. Make us a Santa
That's
before
getting maybe
Christmas.
a bit advanced, though.
Well, it's your idea. You just said it. Maybe he could make a Santa.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah.
We'll do him a favour. We'll give him the microcontroller with the program on it to control the arms already. That's fine. We'll build it ourselves first, basically, and pull it apart.
It's interesting in that I'm thinking, will it, with a fail state or a success state?
Yeah.
And the only two things I can really think of are technology.
Yeah, hooking things up or whatever, yeah.
And baking.
Yes.
will it work?
Will it bake?
Will it bake? Yeah. Will this cake rise? Will it it's weird to me that those are like the only two that are sort of together there.
Well, see, because cooking in general is, I think, broadly considered, but at least by myself, is considered to be sort of scientific or algorithmic, right? If you've got a recipe for, I don't know, spaghetti bolognese and you follow it, you're probably going to end up with spaghetti bolognese. For some reason, every time I've tried to bake based on a recipe, it's just random.
Yeah.
What comes out at the other end is random. And it turns out what I missed was I didn't massage it correctly, or I whisked it counterclockwise instead of... It's always something like that, right? It's always some little thing, or I didn't, I did this step for 10 seconds, but it needed 15. Baking is vastly more sort of intuitive and a bit of an art form, right?
Well, I consider it more like black magic.
It is a little bit.
And I've said this before, the difference with baking is that you cannot reverse engineer the ingredients.
Yeah.
With the spaghetti bolognese, you're looking at, this is pasta, this is meat, this is cheese.
There's some tomatoes and various other bits in there. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, if you went back in time and handed someone a cake and said, what is this made of? They would not say eggs, flour. They would go, what the hell is this?
This is just...
Where did you dig this out of the ground somewhere?
Yeah. This is like we've discovered a new thing here.
Yeah.
Where did you find this?
What is this?
That's one of your stand-up bits,
It is,
isn't it?
yes.
Yeah,
I
that's a good
slotted,
bit.
yeah, I put
That's a good
material.
bit.
Thank you for pointing out that I'm just dropping material.
No, I'm pointing out that you're a good comedian.
Was.
Tony.
Was.
Oh, come on, mate.
It's been many a year. But anyway, will it work? Old man struggles with technology for your entertainment.
Or baking. Or baking. What about getting him to assemble an oven and then bake a cake in it? I might have a heart attack.
Yeah, no, I don't think... Assembling furniture could be a good...
Yeah, but nobody can assemble furniture.
Well, some people can.
People that are paid to do it. Actually, that reminds me. So, IKEA furniture, right? Generally considered to be the most difficult thing a human can undertake, right? Assembling IKEA furniture.
Is it
Really? Quantum physicists and stuff, they've all got difficult jobs, but there's nothing on assembling a $200 futon from IKEA.
Okay.
And it's just that... So we once bought a cupboard, like a full set of wardrobes, right, from IKEA. And I've always said, I don't know if I've said this on the show before, but the way you can tell how difficult something is going to be to assemble from IKEA is you ask them how much it'll cost for me to get them to come and assemble it for me. So if they say $50, it'll probably be pretty straightforward. If they turn around and say something like $600, you know that you're never doing it, right?
But then you're not paying them to do it, so it's just never being assembled.
Well, if they say $600 and I can't afford it, then I'm just not buying it because I'm never going to put it together myself. But we bought these wardrobes and we asked them how much to assemble them, and it was like $700. And I said, well, that's insane. Like, how long does it take? He goes, well, someone that's experienced, someone that's done this and only does the wardrobes, because we have people that specialize in the wardrobes, right? Takes them 8 hours.
What?
It takes them 8 hours. So the guy, we paid him to come and do it, right? Because screw that.
You paid the $700?
Yeah. Right?
And
he comes out and it actually took him like 8.5, almost 9 hours to put this thing together. And I sat there watching in awe. And I thought to myself, my dad comes in at some point, I'm like, Dad, first of all, we would have murdered each other 5 times over. Second of all, this would have taken us 2 weeks to assemble.
Wow.
It was thousands of pieces kind of thing.
What kind of wardrobe was this?
It was like one of those modular things, right? You get it, of course, because IKEA's all flat pack. You just get a whole stack of bits of wood and about 3 kilos of nuts and bolts, and then you just assemble it kind of however you want.
Right.
Was the whole problem. So, yeah, we could do assembling like $50 to $100 IKEA furniture.
Yeah, I suppose.
Thing. We've got a comment here. Someone says, old man drives a Tesla in peak hour traffic.
Well, I don't understand what that
I don't know what's difficult about that. Maybe figuring out the electric car?
I mean, yeah, well, yes. I don't know. I've never been in a Tesla, but is it I would have thought it was just the same.
Press the button, off you go.
Yeah.
In fact, it's probably easier.
Although, I mean, maybe, stick in an old man. Like, would an old man understand things even like keyless entry? And
probably not.
So that could
Depends how old, yeah.
Depends how old the man is.
There was famously an old sports car, an old English sports car, where there was no door handle, right? And the way you opened the door was there was a button on the bottom side of the side mirror. Kind of thing, and it was a show that I was watching about cars, and they did a bit where they would just get grandmas to try and get into this car. Very relevant to this, actually. And, they'd all just be going around, like, just looking for a door handle, and none of them got it.
Oh, what about will it work? Old man does his taxes electronically. Or something like that. Or old man has to submit a form.
Yeah, online.
Yeah. And whether if the form is submitted, the old man has succeeded. Otherwise, the old man has failed.
The old man has just failed.
Yes.
Well, that's going to be interesting in... because in Australia soon we're going to move to only online tax forms and stuff like that. Which I guess just means old people will go to tax agents.
Yeah, probably.
But, it could be fun. Though some older people are surprisingly up to date with modern technology. Like, you get, like, the Instagram granddads. Like, have you seen any of those? There's not many of them, but they do exist.
I find old people have a
curious relationship with technology.
Well, especially, like social media. They are very... formal. Like, they've taken letter writing and just sort of dumped it onto, Twitter.
Just dumped it onto Twitter, yeah.
Hello, blah, blah, blah. This is from dad or from your uncle.
Regards, so-and-so, yeah. I saw a great thread on Facebook the other day. It was, you know how you can attach a little bio to your profile on Facebook? It should just be a few words about yourself. And it was pictures of old people's profiles where they'd accidentally put something silly in the bio. So, the one was an old lady and her bio just said seafood.
Yeah.
The next one...
Because she probably wanted some seafood.
Yeah, exactly. She was probably trying to Google seafood, right? The next one was just like, hi, Nancy, sorry I didn't call you back today. I missed your call earlier. Please call me back when you can, kind of thing. And various things like that. So, yeah, it could be a really fun show.
Oh, well, actually, so there you go. Old man sets up a social media presence. Will it work?
Yeah.
That would be brilliant.
Does he have a profile at the end of the process where the bio doesn't say seafood?
Yeah. So there you go. If you want to invest in my series, Will It Work? With unspecified currently old man, uncast old man.
Yeah.
Message in, and I will certainly take your money and make the show. That is the promise. If I get investment, the show will get made.
What's the minimum investment before you make the show? How much are you paying the old man for the first episode? The test episode, basically?
Pilot, I'll give him 3 cream buns.
3 cream buns?
Yeah.
Not a bad deal.
Not a bad deal?
Not a bad deal. I've paid people less to star in my stupid videos.
3 cream... No, I don't know. I'll give him $100.
$100? It's a good deal. I might just have to wait till I get old.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while.
I wonder what the stuff we won't be able to use will be when we're old.
I've wondered this as well.
Yeah,
because technology has always been around for us.
Yeah, I suppose because it's advancing so quickly now, we're sort of forced to keep up to date.
But there is, because I remember my granddad had problems with. He wanted to get into computers, and he's decided to do it really late.
Yeah.
And he didn't know, for example, that you could close the windows. He just would switch the computer off and then back on again when he wanted to switch programs he was using.
Really?
And then, you can actually...
So he would turn it off, turn it back on just to launch a different application?
Yeah.
That's weird.
So this must have been like the Windows 95 era, maybe.
Yeah.
But he would also do things like, he'd want to fill in a form or something, so he would hover the mouse over the text box.
Oh, and then
start typing.
Yeah. That's cute.
And we're like, no, you got to click in.
You got to click, yeah.
And he's like, well, why? Can't the computer tell that I want to type? Like,
well, funnily enough, you could have helped your grandfather there because Windows has a setting where it will activate things once the mouse hovers over it for 2 seconds.
Was this back in Windows 95?
Yeah, it's been around for a long time.
Oh, okay. Well,
been around for a long time.
Well,
you're a horrible person, Tony. You didn't help.
I didn't know that
you would have been like 7 or something.
But my thought is he came into technology late. Of course he doesn't know.
Windows 95 isn't that late. How old was he at the time?
I don't know.
Already in like his 60s or something?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, true. Okay.
But I mean, yeah. So, but we've grown up with it.
Yeah.
I've always had a computer in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's not going to happen to me. And then I try and use Snapchat.
Yes,
and
that's exactly what I was going to say.
What are these buttons?
Yeah.
What is this square with the line through it mean?
And how do kids understand this? This is just random symbols.
Yeah. I wanted to...
And they know.
I wanted to send a snap to a friend of mine saying that it was too hot. There was a picture... I took a picture of me just like in the sun, hand over my face, just sort of in misery. And I made that my story for 24 hours. Everyone could see that.
But you just wanted to send that to one person?
I wanted to send that to one person, and I took a could punt at a button.
And yet it was the wrong one.
It was the wrong button.
It was the wrong button.
And I feel like that's what's going to happen with technology. We'll understand the fundamentals.
But apps are going to leave us behind.
Yeah, we'll go, okay, I know at a level this is sending a request to a back end.
Yeah, and particularly because we're software developers, right? But
I'm going to be... the front end's probably what's going to get us going, I don't know how to do this anymore.
Yeah. Well, I've actually found myself... Because again, as a software person, right, you would think that I'm generally pretty familiar with software of all kinds, apps and web apps and whatever, right? And yet this device... Where's the camera? This device here completely defeats me. This phone.
The phone. Yeah. He's holding up his phone.
Yes, I always forget that this is not just a video thing.
Yes.
It completely defeats me at least once or twice a week. And I know I'm getting old when I refer to my phone as that infernal device, right? And that has happened more than 0 times.
That is an old man thing to say.
But this thing frustrates me to no end sometimes. I don't use it for anything but phone calls, text messages, and maybe Facebook. Everything else is just beyond me. I'll do it on the web app. I'll do it on the computer.
Yeah, sometimes I get frustrated when I want to do more than what the inputs allow.
Yeah.
There seems to, kids seem to be faster on their phones than they would be on a computer.
I know.
And I'm not. I could get work done on a computer way quicker.
Typing on a phone is insane.
It's very irritating.
It was worse in the 90s. It's not much better now.
I reckon it's gone backwards.
You reckon?
Swipe was better than it is now. Something has happened to Swipe.
Yeah.
We've discussed this in the past, but it's going backwards a bit.
Will it work?
Will it work?
I like it.
Well, I am open to expressions of interest.
Expressions of interest at the Hidden Agenda Podcast at gmail.com.
Yes.
Send them through.
Yes.
Anything else on that one?
No, that's all I got.
Here.
Here.
I want to talk about the second item on the agenda. Item number 2 on the agenda. And I want to talk about sort of pointless legislation in a sense. It's keeping up with the law theme from last week. I'll give you a good example, all right? It's illegal to ride a bicycle without a helmet.
Yep.
Right? Now, there's a few things wrong with that, but one fundamentally. But the first thing is, it's like, if I want to ride a bicycle without my helmet, it's nobody's business whether I want to take the risk of braining myself when I fall off that bike. I cannot possibly hurt anyone else by not wearing a helmet.
Yeah, but you can hurt yourself.
Not the point. I'm allowed to hurt myself.
But are you then allowed to get onto the healthcare and drain that? Isn't that the issue there?
Yeah, but I mean...
If we allow people to ride around without helmets, that's going to cause problems?
So, theoretically, I agree with that.
Right.
However, that comes to the second and more fundamental problem.
Yeah.
You can buy a $10 piece of foam with a piece of plastic on top of it from Kmart, which will not protect you in the slightest, and you're legally in the clear.
Well...
You are.
Are you? Is it not? I don't know. Is it not going to protect you?
It's not going to do anything. It's a piece of hard foam that will transfer the shock. It might dissipate 5% of the shock, right? But it will transfer that shock right through to your head. And second of all, I once just stood on one of those and it snapped, right?
Okay.
So, and if the give or take 90 to 100 kilos of force that I slowly applied to it was enough to make it snap, the several hundred kilos of gravity and me flying through the air and smacking into a wall is definitely going to break it.
All right, yeah.
Fair
point.
Your point, completely valid. Yes, the idea of the helmets is probably so that we don't have to spend money on morons that are braining themselves because they're choosing not to wear a helmet.
Mm.
But then if they paint a helmet onto their head, no worries. You're in the clear. Go nuts. Go ride your bike and snap your helmet in half and injure yourself that way. That way, we're justified in spending the money on you. You bought this helmet that does nothing, and you're good.
Right, yeah.
Pointless.
Yeah, look, I can see a flaw with that system.
Yeah, absolutely pointless. And the same goes for things like, I don't know, what's another good example? I had one and I've forgotten it. Damn. Oh well. But yeah, personal liberties type stuff, right? If you want to be able to do things that can harm you but won't harm anyone else, I probably wouldn't have a problem with the government or whoever turning around and being like, you did that dumb thing? Cool, we're not giving you any healthcare for that, right? That would be fine. That still gives me the choice.
Yeah.
I just want choice, Tony. I want to have autonomy. I want agency.
Are you feeling restricted in the Australian rules? Is that what's going on here? The laws are too much for you right now?
I actually, for some reason, am made inordinately angry by the fact that it's illegal to ride a bicycle without a helmet. I don't know why I've latched onto that particular example over the years, but that one really annoys me.
What's your thoughts on the seatbelt law, though?
Whatever, right? It's just... It's stupid not to wear a seatbelt, just like it's stupid not to wear a helmet. I'm not saying it's stupid not to wear a helmet, right?
Yeah.
But, chances are you're getting pretty banged up in a car accident anyway. If you don't wear a seatbelt, you're actually probably going to save the healthcare system some money. So, whatever. If that's what you want to do, go nuts.
Yeah.
It's your life. Do what you want with it.
Again, I'm not a legislator.
Actually, the car... It's probably a bit grim, but the car one, the seatbelt one, like I just said, you don't wear a seatbelt, you're probably not costing Medicare anything. If you do wear a seatbelt, you survive, you spend a lot of time in hospital.
Yeah, well, but you're also...
By that logic, seatbelts should be illegal.
No, see, I don't think that logic is sound.
No, it's not.
We're trying to save lives here.
You're trying to save lives here. I'm trying to say people can do whatever the hell they want with their lives.
Yeah. Look, again, like last week, I don't know if I can follow you on this legal flight of fancy you've set up here.
This fits in nicely with my penalties and stuff from last week, though. It fits nicely into the sort of dystopian hellscape that I created.
Yes, dystopian hellscape is the operative words here.
Probably more hellscape than dystopian, because I don't think society would fall apart immediately.
No.
But it probably wouldn't take very long, to be honest, once you live. Because you'll just have people doing just like, I can just do, I don't know, drugs or smoke 10 packs of cigarettes a day or ride my bicycle without a helmet or whatever and run around doing whatever the hell they want. It'll be anarchy.
Legalizing drugs is an interesting issue.
It is.
And see, I'd be more tolerant of that than, say, seatbelts or...
Well, yeah, sure.
I don't...
Because as it stands, we treat people that harm themselves with substances anyway, right? Yeah. So if you legalize it, all you're doing is not trying to put them in prison beforehand, kind of thing.
And you're also cutting off a huge supply of money to people who you don't want to have...
A huge supply of money to do their nefarious deeds with.
Yes.
Exactly.
Whereas I don't think there's like some underground anti-seatbelt cartel that, we'd be, putting money, big no seatbelt.
Yeah, big no seatbelt
mobs going
now
around.
Now that you said the word cartel, I read the funniest article. It was probably about a year ago now, but I like the word cartel because it can be applied to any kind of nefarious scheme that exists to make money illicitly, right? And it was found out about a year or two ago that Woolworths was operating a washing powder cartel, right? Or at least that's how it was reported. It was reported as a washing powder cartel.
Right.
And the idea behind this was there was a period of time where Woolworths were only selling washing concentrates, which they could sell at a higher price, and they had a deal with the company that produced these concentrates to only sell those because everybody made more money off them.
Right.
And this was exposed, and they paid a big fine and all this kind of thing. I don't care about any of that. Unchecked capitalism is a problem regardless of whether it's washing powder or anything else. But the idea that this was reported as... when I read the phrase washing powder cartel, I pissed myself laughing. It was just the most hysterical concept. The idea that a supermarket and a pharmaceutical/chemical company can be operating a cartel specifically for washing powder concentrate is one of the funniest things I've ever read.
I like the idea that they've got the washing powder and they're like, yeah, we need to sell this a bit. Cut this with some cocaine. Can we get some of that cheap cocaine in here? And we'll just we'll cut this. There we go. Now we've got twice as much.
Twice as much. We're selling it for the same price and nobody's any the wiser.
Everyone's clothes may be getting high, but that's fine.
Doesn't matter. Anyway, I reckon that's probably about it for me on that one.
All right.
And it's also time for us to go to our 2 station IDs. So,
hang on. So before we go to the station IDs, what station are they listening to?
You're listening to Fresh Radio.
Right, and you'll be hearing more about that in a second.
In just a second.
Fresh Radio. Η καλύτερη ραδιοφωνική συντροφιά στο σπίτι, στη δουλειά και φυσικά στο αυτοκίνητο. Fresh Radio. Γιατί απλά δεν μπορείς να αντισταθείς. Η ραδιοφωνική καρδιά της πόλης χτυπά μόνο εδώ. Σαν Fresh.
And we're back.
And that radio station again is Fresh Radio. What is the vote of no confidence?
Why do they hate us so much?
No,
what did we do to the world?
We got is big no seatbelt running this.
They must be.
And they don't.
Big washing powder cartel.
They don't
big
like that we've
Woolworths.
exposed.
We've exposed them.
Yeah. Put some ads in.
Yeah.
We can sell things.
If you want to sell ads on our show, if you want to sell stuff on our show, send us an email.
Exactly.
This will be the 4th time I've said it, but I'm going to say it anyway. thehiddenagendapodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, we've got chat.
Yeah, we've got comments. There's people here listening. We got a good comment just now. No here for item number 2. So here at item number 2.
Here.
Yep. Thanks for that. If I wanted a backseat showrunner, I would have asked for one. But anyway.
Ooh, turning on the listeners.
Hey. Let's see. We've got a story. We've got comments on the first item.
Oh, yes.
We'll quickly go through those. We've got a friend of mine here saying there's actually a lot of assumed information when it comes to operating technology that we might think is obvious but actually isn't. I remember a story I heard about some guy working tech support, and he was asking an old woman to move her mouse up and down, and he realized after a time that she was physically moving the mouse up and down. And I guess that's a good point. I used to read this website called Computer Stupidities, and it was full of stories like this. You know, where a tech support agent would ask a person on the other line, what version of Windows do you have? And he would say double glazed. Things like that.
Yeah, I worked in a mom and pop computer shop.
Really?
Yeah.
True.
I spent a year in there, and it was interesting, that sort of. I had someone would come in and they would say, my modem doesn't work. And you go, oh, what's the problem? Oh, it's just nothing's on the screen. Mm-hmm. You're like, nothing's on the screen? What? And eventually you sort of, you try and talk to them and work out the problem. And what they refer to...
As the modem.
We call the tower.
Yeah.
They just call the modem. So, first of all, when they come in with a problem, you can't just listen to what they say the problem.
Because they don't know what they're talking about.
You have to work out what they mean before you can then start solving their problems.
I feel like this would have been more of a problem in the 90s, in the 80s and 90s.
Oh, we still have... There was one I remember that irritated a guy. We had a guy come in, he had Windows 98 still.
Nice.
And
when was this?
Oh, this would have been 2007.
That's wow.
So
he held on.
But he needed a CD, like a disk drive.
Right.
And we had a disk drive that was compatible with Windows 98.
Okay.
So we said, here you go. And he's like, you sure this will work? Yes, this will work. And he comes in the next day and he said, you told me that would work, and it didn't.
It didn't, yep.
And we're like, what do you mean? It says it's compatible. And he's like, well, I put my printer driver in, the disk thing, and I tried to install a printer driver, and it said it is not compatible with Windows 98.
Right.
And we're like, well, that's the printer.
The printer driver isn't compatible with Windows 98.
It's like, well, you told me this would work.
And it does.
And we had to then, say...
You had to explain all that.
Yeah, and it's... very irritating.
And drivers would have been a lot worse back in the day because you had to install them manually. But I can't imagine these days, like, what driver? Like, can you imagine telling an old person, oh, you just need to install the driver? They'd probably turn around and go, well, where do I put him?
The worst one I had was this lady rang up. She was a very old lady, and she's like, we needed... I can't remember how we got to this point, but Windows... She needed to reinstall Windows. I'm like, can you bring it in? This is not something we can really do over... I'm 93 and I can't drive. Can you get anyone else to bring... No, I can't. And so we got into her BIOS. I should have bailed before this point.
Yeah, you should have.
We're trying to get the CD drive to be the top priority thing that loads. And so I'm like, somewhere on the side, it'll say move up, move down. Highlight the CD drive, push the button that says move up. Yeah. Okay, have you done it? Yes. It moved down. And I'm like, sorry, what? And she's like, yeah, it moved down the list. I'm like, well, try it again, highlight it, push the move up button. Yeah, it moved down further. All right, that moved further. I said, all right, here's what we do. Highlight the thing above the CD drive and push that same button you've been pushing.
Yeah.
And she goes, that thing moved up. And I'm like, what? Lady.
Give me a break. Like, just help me out here. I'm doing my best.
Bring the computer in. I can't see the screen. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Things are moving up and down your boot priority list. I don't know.
It's all just a massive disaster. Anyway, shall we move on to item number 3?
Item number 3.
Item number 3 on the
Kind of
agenda.
ties in with item number 1 in a way.
Okay.
I've done a good job, I feel, of keeping up with the evolutions of technology in terms of communication.
Sure.
I feel like I had good phone etiquette, which then extended to good email etiquette,
Okay.
good instant messaging etiquette.
Yep.
You know, Twittering, I do all right.
Twittering.
The thing that I've sort of has fallen off for me is this. Now we're at a point as humans where we communicate almost entirely, it seems, by GIFs or GIFs.
Yep. It's definitely not GIF.
It's GIF, is it? We'll go with... I don't mind
The
either.
creator apparently says it's GIF. The problem with that is the G in GIF or GIF stands for graphics, last I checked, not graphics.
Yes.
So...
All right, we'll go with GIF. I'm
yeah.
happy with...
Though
yeah.
I tend to go with GIF just to just to insult everyone equally.
But, yeah, and whenever I type this, I'm like, hey, I've done this. And rather than say yay, which is what I would do, if you told me some good news...
You would say yay.
I would say yay. I would not look for an image of someone from television throwing their arms
around and yelling. Yeah.
I don't see why that's necessary. And maybe this is me becoming an old curmudgeon, but why...
curmudgeon's a good word.
Why do we need these? And they're always shots from television as well.
Usually, yeah.
Who's cataloguing who has the time? Who's going through and chopping all this up? It just, to me, communicating with GIFs seems like a colossal waste of time.
The very idea that over the last probably about 10 years or so, there's been an almost infinite database of perfect little snippets taken from TV shows, movies, cartoons, etc., built up to the point where we can communicate entirely using those images. That in and of itself is insane.
When did this...
Who has the time?
Yeah, because you got all those the GIF keyboards now. Where is that?
Yeah, it doesn't need to be built in.
Where is the central database? Is there a central GIF keyboard database? Is it?
Do you know? Well, I think they all just hook into third parties like Giphy and stuff, right?
I don't know.
I mean, I can't see Google making their own, Microsoft making their own, etc.
I don't know. I just ignored it, but it's just sort of becoming more and more people just communicate.
Well, the way you know it's going to be the permanent way of communicating, other than the fact that you'll be communicating in it, is so currently it takes a long press and another tap or two to get to the GIF keyboard on your phone.
Right.
When that replaces the emoji button, that's when we've lost.
I just want to also, just in case anyone misinterprets what I'm saying, if I say something and then you fire up an image editor, make something and then send it, I've got no problem with that.
Yeah, that's respect. Yeah.
But I just don't get why, when you're saying yay, it needs to come from...
It needs to be accompanied by a minion.
Yeah. Yeah. What's wrong with yay?
Yeah, yay is fine.
I mean, look, we're talking now. There's no GIFs in sight. I don't know if this is boring to anyone, but because of the lack of GIFs...
I wonder whether it's a corruption or like a sort of related to the topic Teegan had brought in on our guest episode, where everybody attaches lol and haha and little smiley faces and whatever to all the messages to seem pleasant or upbeat or something like that. Maybe a GIF is fun or something. Or GIF, sorry.
Does communication need to be fun?
No. No.
But also, can't we make out... To me, that's like... outsourcing the fun of the conversation.
It's just like, I can't be bothered being fun here. Can you make this fun for me?
Yeah, yay is not a particularly fun response. I'll just go and talk to this big database and grab some fun off the shelf.
Grab some off the shelf fun.
And then stick it in this chat.
Do you know what I think the most crazy part is? Have you noticed that if you search, I think it does this on Facebook, if you search for a GIF, I'm going to keep doing that, by the way. GIF. You'll type a word, pineapple, for example,
yeah,
and you'll see some GIFs of pineapples and whatever. And then,
SpongeBob's house will probably show up.
SpongeBob's house will be there and some comedy from SpongeBob. And then you'll scroll sort of down. It tends to be after the first 10, 20 kind of thing. And then there'll be a series of automatically generated GIFs, which is just the word you searched for surrounded by some effect. So it'll pop in, or it'll slide in, or it'll have some crazy graphics around it.
I have not seen this, because I've never really ever once gone into the GIF keyboard.
The GIF keyboard, yeah. But it automatically generates just a GIF of whatever you were searching for.
Right.
It has no filter. You could be searching for real horrible stuff. It'll still be like, murder, kind of thing.
What kind of gets... To me, I'm just worried about if we're going to get to a point where people get a book and go, "Well, this text,
there's no good GIFs in my book.
This is just black, like Arial font.
Yeah,
this is boring. I want sparkle. I want."
Tony, those people exist.
Yeah,
but I know, and you will also know, though you may not know it. But you will definitely, in your circle of friends, have at least one person who has never read a book from start to finish.
Oh, yeah.
And because they're boring. Boring, in air quotes, right?
Yeah.
I personally, and I imagine you do as well, completely fail to see how a narrative could be boring unless the narrative was poorly written or not to your interests, right?
I can
but the idea of reading words off a page to form a story is no different to somebody telling you a story, right?
Yeah, well, you lose, I guess, the delivery.
Sure. But you can imagine the delivery.
Yeah.
You can imagine the things jumping off the page. When someone tells you a story that's quite vivid, I mean, at least I do, and I'm sure you do as well, you sort of visualize it, right?
Yeah.
Do these people need pictures in the books because they have no facility to visualize words?
I don't know, maybe.
And are those the same people that are using GIF?
I don't know. I think that's too far apart.
I reckon there might be a correlation there.
Yeah.
If you want to fund a study into the correlation between GIFs and people who don't read books, email us at thehiddenagendapodcast@gmail.com. We're going to get that email address in here at least 10 times today.
Okay, what are we up to, 6?
That was 6, I think.
Okay.
5 or 6. If anyone's been counting, let us know.
Well, yeah. So, look, I think I could go on, but we are sort of up against the clock.
It's good.
So, I'll just say yay with the minion jumping around.
Yep.
And then, I don't know, someone from Friends saying
yay
happily.
Yep. And I'll say yay with some automatic effects added to it.
Cool. And then I'll say here, and a shot of the
judge banging
a gavel from a movie.
Yep.
Just to emphasize the words.
But he has to be wearing the wig.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's wearing the wig.
He's wearing the wig.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. When did text become
too
not
boring?
Enough? Yeah.
Yeah. When did text fail to convey meaning?
Yes.
Or stop conveying meaning?
Yes.
Yeah. Here.
Here.
Before we move on, though, we've got a couple of comments
related
to GIFs.
Should we have addressed these before we said here?
Nah, that's okay.
Okay.
So my friend Carly simply says, I use GIFs. Well, she wrote GIFs, but I'm saying GIFs. To kill conversations. Which is an interesting idea.
That is an interesting idea.
Do you think if I sent... I suppose it would depend on who you were talking to. But if I sent you a GIF, would you take that as a, he's done with this?
I would feel...
Or that I was just taking the piss?
No, I don't know. It depends. I think Carly's right in that it would... I think it would just kill my enthusiasm for the conversation.
Yeah.
I wouldn't... Because I feel like once you bring the GIF in...
Mm.
Going back to text is just kind of lame.
Yeah.
It's like you've elevated this, and now I have to match it,
or unelevate, or diselevate, whatever the opposite is,
or abandon it.
Abandon it entirely.
Yeah. It's like when if you're having like a nice meal, and then techno music comes in, and people come in and start dancing and raving. And then, after 20 minutes, they go, hey, do we want to go back to the nice meal? No one wants to go back to the nice
meal. We're dancing
now.
Yeah, we're dancing.
We're doing this.
I feel like if you sent me a GIF, I would feel like you were taking the piss.
Oh, yeah,
because you would be.
Yeah.
But other people who send me GIFs all the time, they're the kind of people I suppose I expect them from.
Right.
I mostly ignore them, to be honest. Not the people, the GIFs.
The GIFs.
Amir says, these watch parties don't let you post GIFs, to which Carly replied with a GIF. To which he then replied, apparently I'm a dinosaur. This is just technology getting away from you, man.
Well, he could be a candidate for Will It Work?
Will It Work?
The new hit YouTube show.
If you can figure out how to send... I'm not going to do it again. I'm not doing it again yet. It's too early. Let's move on.
All right.
I want to talk about Let's move on. Pause. To item number 4 in the agenda. I kind of started the next sentence before I finished the one before.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was a live retake.
Yes,
you don't
that
hear
was a
too
live
many of
retake.
those.
Yeah, I know. Cut, redo. Busybodies.
Busybodies.
Yeah. People who involve themselves in strangers' affairs for absolutely no reason whatsoever.
Sticky beaks.
Sticky beaks, yeah. Busybodies, sticky beaks, gossips, things like that, right? I've been targeted by one.
You've been targeted by a busybody.
By a busybody recently. And I don't think incensed even sort of begins to describe how I felt about it, particularly because the chain of events it set off was quite passive-aggressive, right?
Right.
So, to give a bit of context, I suppose, I smoke and whatever, and I was smoking on my balcony one afternoon, and
oh yes,
yeah, and I've been in this place for like 5 months, and it's never been a problem. Plenty of my neighbours smoke on their balconies as well. It didn't appear to be a problem. The tenancy agreement I signed quite specifically said you can't smoke in the premises, not on. Right? I get an email a few weeks ago. So rather, I get an email forwarded to me by the email sent by the body corporate to my property manager. All right, who just forwards me with a message of, please read the attached, right? And the attached email was, this person has been seen smoking on their balcony and it's against the rules and blah, 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 and if they do it again, we'll fine them, right? First of all, if a private company comes to fine me, they can piss right off. If they want to get the $200 off me, take me to court. By the time you get your $200, it would have cost you 10 grand, which is the same reason I never paid a parking ticket to my university. If you want it, come and get it. But second of all, in that email, they included a set of rules I had never seen before that said I couldn't do that. Right? The only way, first of all, that was so annoying. I emailed them back and I was just like, yeah, that's great, except you got to tell me I can't do this before you tell me, oh, we're going to fine you because you're not allowed to do this, right? But the only way that got back to them, because this strata company manages hundreds of properties, right? So unless they send somebody to monitor the place, it means one of my neighbours dobbed on me, right? It has to.
You've got a dibber-dobber.
I've got a dibby-dobber.
For a neighbour.
Yeah. Right? Now, my balcony is at least 5-10 meters away from any other doors or windows from my neighbours, right? And because I'm on the top floor, it'll just go straight over the roof, right? It's never once gone into anybody's window. And further than that, I always checked if there was an open window, and then I just didn't do it if there was, right? I'm pretty considerate with these things. No, apparently not, right? And what I don't understand, what I fail to see is what possible outcome, like how does anybody get, like, it's not your business. Go away. Are you so bored? Is your life such a you have such a miserable shell of an existence that you need to sit on your porch and just analyze everything that happens and this is the person that just calls the cops because someone was standing on the corner for too long, right?
The next email's like, this person wasted their morning.
Yeah.
They did not seize the day.
You know what? If they don't want to be a productive member of society, then something should be done about them, right?
He's got Uber Eats for the 3rd time this week, and it's only Tuesday.
Yeah, it's the next step. I know the slippery slope is a fallacy, but these people are already insane, so fallacies don't apply to them, right? This is the classic, you see it in it's a trope, right? The old man or the old woman with the binoculars out the window, just watching all the neighbours, calling the cops on them for various crap kind of thing. Stay out of my damn life.
Yeah, no.
It's none of your business.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
That's,
I just wanted to rant.
Fair enough.
I have a platform here, so I'm going to use it to rant occasionally.
What's the conclusion with smoking on the balcony?
I've got to walk all the way down to the street now.
That's not right.
I got to go down 3 flights of stairs and off campus, specifically. And the email said the phrase off campus.
That's not... I don't like that.
No. You know that bit about personal freedoms just before? Yeah. I'm on a bit of a thing today.
That's smoking is a legal activity.
Yes. Yes, it is. And you know what the most heinous part of that email was?
What?
The reason I'm apparently not allowed to do that is because, and I wish I should have opened it up on my phone beforehand, but it said something to the lines of, it devalues the property and makes it harder to enjoy for the rest of the tenants.
Yeah, that's you got a sticky beak.
Yeah. Yes, I do.
This is like, remember there was that vegan lady who didn't want her neighbours to cook barbecue and chair scraping was causing problems.
Yeah.
The same sort of thing.
I've got an even worse one.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same sticky beak. I got an email from the body corporate again.
Oh, yeah?
Someone had so my parking space at my complex is right near the cage where all the bins are held. I got an email one day with a picture of my car going over the line at the front of my parking space by about an inch, okay? And I was threatened with a fine for blocking access to the bins. Yeah.
Who was...
Yeah, somebody took a photo of my car barely over the line and sent it to him.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you got any
No
suspicions?
idea. No idea.
How many people...
No one's given me the stink eye. No one... Yeah, everybody seems perfectly polite. I say hello to my neighbours when I walk past them.
You need to set a trap.
Yeah, what do? Do I just park my car too far forward, then hide a webcam in the corner and see who comes to take the picture?
Yeah, maybe. That's one way of doing it.
Yeah, that would work, actually.
Have you got, get a rear dash cam?
So, yeah.
And then park your car blazingly over the line.
Yeah, and see who does it.
It'd be fun.
No, I won't.
The whole complex comes in. Everyone took a picture of this.
So I'll just drive my car into the cage with the bins. Yeah. No, yeah, that'll work. I might try that, actually.
Well, this will be good forward promotion for next week's show and the weeks after.
In the other business.
Will Thanasi catch his busybody, sticky beak...
Bad words neighbour.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope so.
I hope so too.
But the thing is even if I do, what am I going to do? Have a stern word to them? What do I do?
Yeah.
Stay the hell out of my life?
Yeah.
Or just be like, you better watch out because I'm going to dob on you for everything. You breathe funny, the body corporate's getting an email. Well, I mean, what do I do? What do I do with that person once I found out who they are?
That's a good question.
Yeah, exactly. Other than just know who they are so I can hate them specifically.
I think that's enough, isn't it?
I mean, I do. That would be okay for me. Yeah, that would be okay for me. Because at least then there'd be one person who, when they walk by, I could be like, that... Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Of course, Carly, now keeping on with the GIFs, has posted a GIF of Neighbour Wars or Neighbour Watch? It's a lady peering out the window with binoculars.
Right. That's what you've got.
Yep. Here.
Shall
we move on to the final item? Have you got any comments for anyone?
No. My lot's been all quiet this time.
All right.
So this one's a short one.
Good, because we've only got 5 minutes.
Yes. I wanted to ask you, are we in a hamburger recession?
That is not a question I expected to ever hear.
I feel like hamburgers peaked a few years ago.
Yeah.
And now hamburgers are declining.
A hamburger recession?
I feel
in people aren't being as creative with them, or
I feel like there was a lot of new hamburger places opening up with upmarket sort of hamburgers, and now a lot of them seem to be. There was like a lot of 8-bits in the city, and everyone would rate, "Oh, you got to try 8-bit." I've never talked about 8-bit for a year now.
No,
Benny Burgers is going into liquidation or something.
Yeah, Burger Road's closed down.
Yeah, it seems like we're not as interested in burgers as we were a few years ago.
I think burgers just flew too close to the sun.
Burgers flew too close to the sun. They did an Icarus.
Yeah, I think it got to the point where people thought, you know what, I'm not paying $27 for a burger.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah, because the burger places that have stuck around are all in the sub-20 range now.
Yes.
Or at least kind of touching on 20, but very rarely going over it.
Yeah.
I think
right.
that's what killed it. Because I've seen a $27 burger, right? I don't care how good it is. On principle, I'm not paying $27 for mashed meat between two bits of bread.
Now, are you talking? Is this the meal that's over 20?
The
or
burger was
just
$27.
That's. But in general, I don't think too many sold
okay.
burgers.
I'm sure there's not many, but what I'm saying is they flew too close to the sun in the sense that they got so fancy and so inflated that people kind of went, hey, this burger thing, it's actually kind of stupid.
Yeah. It's a sandwich.
It's a sandwich, and a glorified one at that.
Yeah.
But is literally crushed meat in bread.
Yes.
Like, on principle, I refuse to. I don't care if that was the last cow of a particular subgenus of cow and I'm the only person that gets to eat it. I'm not paying $27 for it.
Well, yeah, I'm probably the same.
Dip it in gold, then maybe. But, until then, not doing it. And I think that's what happened to the burger industry.
It crashed.
Yeah. Big Burger just took it too far.
So, does burger pull up? Because, we've discussed on the show previously that one of the things I like to do is chart the trajectory of gourmet desserts.
Yes. Do we start charting the trajectory of gourmet burgers?
Yeah, what is burger gone and something else is going to... I'm wondering if, kebab's going to swing in and we'll see a bunch of kebab places.
Fancy kebabs.
Fancy
and the thing
kebabs.
is, kebabs are already kind of expensive for what they are.
Yeah, are they? They're not that expensive.
Well, I mean, they're generally about $12 or $13, right? Yeah, but it's just a bunch of shaved mystery meat in a piece of paper. So
yeah,
it's probably $1.50's worth of materials and then sold to you at 10x cost,
right?
Kind of thing. If they start adding fancy meats or nicer bread or vegetables that didn't die 3 days ago, and they start charging $20 for it or $25 for it, is the same thing going to happen to kebabs?
Yeah, well...
Or are kebabs far too... What's the phrase I'm looking for here? Utilitarian? To ever have someone bother making them fancy?
I think nothing is above being made fancy.
Actually, I lied, because Calumbaris has that franchise, Jimmy Grant's, and they're like $20 kebab type things. Yeah.
Well, there you go. But he's like the only... will everyone else jump on? Because everyone was jumping on the burger bandwagon.
Yeah, I know.
It was a big bandwagon. Filled with lots of burgers.
Filled with lots of burgers. Yeah. I don't know, man. Let's start charting it.
Yeah, all right. So
if you're interested in supporting our efforts to chart the trajectory of gourmet burgers over time, send us an email.
Yeah, and that's all. It was just a quick one, really. We're in a burger recession.
The burger recession. Here on that one. Now, do we have any other business?
I have no other business.
No other business?
Do you have any other business?
Let me quickly check the old Hidden Agenda mailbox.
Oh, okay.
See if we've got anything in the mailbox.
Do you actually? Do you know we have something, and you're just being coy, or
no? I'm just taking a chance.
Okay, so this could be a very anticlimactic end to an episode.
Thankfully, esteemed listener George.
George
says in an email with the subject line "correspondence." Simply says, someone other than me should write in.
Yeah, George,
come on, man.
If you could write in, George, and tell us who you think should be sending correspondence other than yourself,
send us an email at thehiddenagendapodcast@gmail.com.
And we look forward to reading who you think should be messaging us next week.
And if you think your dad would be good on our show, or your granddad, get him to send us an email.
Will it work?
That is the question.
Yes.
Other than that, anyone who's listening that doesn't follow us on Facebook, go follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/hidden agenda podcast. You can listen to our archive of past episodes, including the episodes we did before Fresh Radio, on the hiddenagenda.libsyn.com or your favorite podcast app. And other than that, I reckon we're done.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
I've been Thanasi.
I've been Tony.
And this has been The Hidden Agenda.
Ta-ta!
Thank you for listening.